Man, what's going on, y'all? Carlota here, back with another video on your screen. I'm here with one of the best commentators I know, with best announcer I know. He's been performed at a bunch of shows and a bunch of shows that are coming up, and he's been in the game a minute. I want y'all to, you know, have your full attention, bro, all my subscribers, and introduce yourself and let everybody know, what's your number one thing you do, bro.
What's going on, Carlito? First, I want to say thank you for having me on Carlito's Fight Talk. Really means a lot to me that you chose me. My name is Christian Schmidt. I'm a ring announcer slash commentator. I love boxing. I work in the boxing MMA world um, all over the United States. And I'm just thrilled to be on your show, man, from one San Antonian to another, doing it, big things in the Alamo City, the best fight town in the world. Yes, I said it. Our hometown, where we bleed silver and black. I wouldn't be more proud to be from anywhere else. And so, yeah, man, be happy to talk to you about what's going on.
Absolutely, bro. I know you got a bunch of shows coming up, and we'll touch on that in a minute. But what kind of got you into the sport of boxing and to wanting to cover the sport?
Well, I used to be a TV show host at CTSA called The Edge about 25 years ago. Yeah, on the west side of San Antonio at Chancery, and I used to work out there as a host. And we started interviewing boxers, and like Jesse James Leha, and getting to know the local scene. And
Mm.
so I became more intertwined in the local scene. And then I was asked to be a journalist for FightNews.com. And in that time period, I also I had interviewed a wrestler named Shawn Michaels, and so I also got introduced to the wrestling scene as well, which is also just red hot, and that's where I started announcing. So I was working as a journalist and as an announcer at the same time in San Antonio for several years, and then I started moving around, and then it eventually evolved into something that I'm blessed to do full time. So yeah.
Man, that's a blessing, bro. And you bring up Shawn Michaels, man. Shawn Michaels was one of, by far one of my favorite, wrestlers of all time. That's why I got his tattoo right here. One that
Oh,
he,
cool.
yeah,
You do? Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome, man.
I've had that for maybe 10 years now.
Wow. I always wanted one like him.
That was my, I know it's
That's
not
so
what's the
cool.
best, but it was kind of rushed. I wish later down the line, I want to get that fixed, get it all fixed up because I know it should be better, but it was kind of crooked, but it works. And,
Yeah, yeah.
but growing up as a wrestling fan and then always seeing these commentators and announcers, um, what's one thing that you've learned to like better your career, like say 5 years ago?
Well, I mean, I think that the main thing that I learned was, when I first started out, I did zero prep. I didn't really prepare myself for getting up there in front of the people. I just thought that what you did was you got up there and you just read off of cards and paper, and I didn't really familiarize myself with the fighters, the trainers, their hometowns, their fans, the people, the community. I didn't do that. I just showed up, and I did pretty much as little as I could in the beginning because I just thought that's what you did. I mean, why? It's like, why study for an open book test? And then I started learning that the more I knew about the fighters, their backgrounds, the history of the venue, the city, the fans, the people, the more I familiarized myself, the better of a job I always did, because I think the people respect more, or I know that people respect more when an announcer preps himself and he shows them a respect about to know more about the city, the fighters in general, and then I just announce better. It just sounds better rolling off my tongue when I'm familiar with those things. So I learned how to prep myself. That's the key thing that I've learned.
And absolutely, bro. I know that it's probably tough to learn every person,
Yeah,
like comes in the
yeah,
ring and
yeah,
you gotta their weight, their weight limit, you gotta say their hometown, where they're fighting out of.
yeah.
And how does that like how does that basically take your mind? Like how do you remember all that?
Well, I mean, a lot of times I reach out to the fighters on social media. Sometimes I can find them, sometimes I can't. The more significant fighters on the cards, I've known them or they know me or I announced for them a while back. But then sometimes there's pro debuters I know nothing on. So the day of the weigh-ins, what I do is I'll walk right up to the fighters and I'll just have my phone and I'm like, look, just give me your trunk color, hometown, nickname, and I got to do it right then and there. And for the most part, I get about 80-90% of the information that I need. But it does take extra time, but I present it better that way.
And you kind of do it the night before, like you go over your notes or what?
Pretty much the week of, and then hardcore the night before. I just walk around the hotel and I repeat the introductions and I practice and I just familiarize myself with saying certain words and certain names.
hmm Yeah, 'cause I know some of these words or some of the names are hard, or
Yeah.
like how you got to pronounce them and stuff. I'm sure that goes into effect. Like what I'm doing here, it's kind of tough. So like I know the person's name, and then it's like I get so zoned in on the interview that I even forget their name, and I'm like, man, like it just goes right over my head. Um, but that's always a good thing, and how everything that goes into effect in your fights that you got to call and everything. What has been like your number one fight that you felt like you called and you really enjoyed watching it?
Well, I hate watching myself. I just cringe. I just like Michael Buffer said the same thing. I don't know what it is about when we watch ourselves. I guess because I'm always thinking I should have done this a certain way or that a certain way, but I will as a learning experience. As far as picking one single one, I mean, geez, um, Austin Trout versus Jose Charles, and that was on ESPN. Um, there was an event I did for Zab Judah in the U.S. Virgin Islands not long ago, commentating with Roy Jones Jr. back in October. That was pretty exciting for me. But one particular fight, Tavares Cloud versus Ryan Soft in front of Floyd Mayweather Jr. out in Daytona Beach. But it would have to be one of those things. I don't know if I could just choose one though. So yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like a monumental moment for y'all, for you and what you do. And what has like been your number one goal since you got really into covering boxing and stuff?
Just to climb the ladder and always improve and look for ways to improve, getting to know certain people. My number one goal being on television. And now that's not a goal anymore.
hmm
Because 2 weeks ago, ESPN ended their contract with Top Rank. Boxing is no longer on television.
hmm
It's only streamed. Is that good? Yes, because I am the commentator for the Azteca, um, and I commentate with them. So we're going to get more viewers that want to watch boxing. Great for the boxing fans because a lot of times, like for us, it's free on TV Azteca, Texas. You don't have to pay for a service. So, but my ultimate goal is to be on television, and it was to announce in Vegas, which I've announced in Vegas because that's the mecca. But now it would probably be I'm really trying to get to England, Canada, Mexico, um, other countries is my goal now. So
Absolutely. So what is like your what's one guy that does the announcing like right now that you kind of like look up to, or probably not so much like that, but that you're idolized, you're like, damn, he's cool, you know?
so many stereotypical, but Michael Buffer, the way he makes, he's made it cool to be a ring announcer. That velvet voice he has and the way he conducts himself. Another person would be Lupe Contreras from Houston. He's bilingual. The way he can do English and Spanish is just like whoa. Both of those guys. I mean, you always see them in the tux.
Yeah.
They fit. They're very stereotypical as far as like you know being what a classy ring announcer should be. That's something I look up to, and I'm always looking to better myself. But then there's all also some other guys. There's Mike Fall out of Albany, New York. There's Dave Dynamite Hardy out of just north of New Orleans, Louisiana. He's good. Jeremiah Gallegos out of Houston. There's Sonny Franco out of California, who I think is really good. Brandon Lasley out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. He's good. Bob Alexander is definitely somebody I look up to. God bless him. He's having some health problems out in Florida right now, but we're cheering for you, Bob. You see him on Showtime. Thomas Triber, heck of a job. He lives actually in San Antonio right now. He's from I think Chicago, but he always does a great job. So there's so many guys. Even my friend Craig Denholm out in the UK and England. I enjoy watching him as well. So really blessed. There's a lot of ring announcers out there that I like to look at and think, he's doing this right. Sometimes there are some guys who, I didn't name, but I look at them and I'm like, well, they're not doing something right, so I shouldn't do it like that.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I mean, pretty much all the guys I named, and I'm sure I probably left some out. But yeah, all those guys, I really idolize those guys that I named, and Bryce Boudreaux out of Lake Charles, he's another one who's really good. Boy, and then Diamante out of New York, the long hair, great voice. Mark Fratto out of the Maryland area, another great announcer. So it'd have to be several guys that I look up to. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've always said, like David Diamante like was always been like always good. Always someone that I like enjoy hearing him talk and stuff and how he pronounces the names and how he goes says like Rodriguez. Like how he announces Bam sometimes and I'm like I always like that. How he goes back and forward back, to the last name. I think that's pretty cool and I got a chance to meet him like a couple years ago at Bam's fight at the Tech Port. And that was wild. He just walked up the stairs like right beside where I was sitting, and I'm like, oh damn, there he is right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Great, great voice. He used to be the PA for the New Jersey Nets.
oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Yeah, I look at everything and I'm just like, it's crazy times. And the sport of boxing in San Antonio is wild, and I'm looking forward to so many more fights that are coming over here. I'm hoping Bam fights back over here soon, and even Kid Austin. Um, But I guess in due time, all that stuff is gonna come back. And what's one thing that you're looking forward to in the next 6 months in your career?
Well, um, so many things. I mean, just whether it's this Saturday in Edinburgh, Texas, with the GT Promotions card, or commentating the TMB card on March 29th from the Tech Port in San Antonio. I'm really looking forward to that. There's a card coming up May 17th in Laredo. Several pending things in April. I'll be back in Vegas roughly June. That's one thing that, I mean, just being in the boxing mecca. When you announce in Vegas, there's a certain feeling that you get that's just like, whoa, wow, um, that is just unparalleled. You feel like you made it. I mean, when I announced in Vegas, the officials are celebrities. You've seen them, in all the big fights, the Mayweather, the Pacquiao, the Klitschko, the Calzaghe, the Hopkins, the Roy Jones. You're like, wait, I saw him. I remember when he was the judge or whatever. It's just like, whoa, you're starstruck by the officials
Hmm.
in Las Vegas.
Hmm.
Um, so, uh, anyways, but yeah, that would probably be, all of those things. And
Hmm.
of course, how can you not love Las Vegas? I mean, you're at the mecca of the boxing world. So yeah.
Absolutely. Um, Being in Vegas for a couple of events too, and doing this YouTube stuff has been a crazy roller coaster. But I think boxing is where it needs to be right now, and shit, I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you.
Yeah, man.
Like I hear you of on The Voice so many times now, man. So it's like it's wild. And been talking to all my sponsors and like, hey man, why don't you try to interview Christian, man? Why don't you try to interview that guy? And I'm like, yeah, man,
Cool.
huh?
They're smart.
I know, like I should.
Right.
And I was like, I've never seen you on an interview, so and I should look back and see if I see your old shows that you were on and stuff like that here in San Antonio. That would be pretty cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that, and it's kind of like you learn something new every day. And what can you tell, say, like my subscriber or a young guy coming in the game that wants to do what y'all do?
Well, I mean, it's a very long process. You spent time volunteering, you know what I mean, at local events, and you don't get paid one single penny. I can tell the ones that are going to make it from the ones that don't, because if they're starting to say, how much do I get paid? Or, can I be on television, or I guess now streaming, or can I announce this guy's fight or that guy's fight? I mean, it's a long, long, hard road. You've got to form your reputation. These promoters, they got to trust you. They don't want, the face of their company. They got to make sure that they have confidence in him or her. Um, so it's a long route. You got to get your reps in, and you got to get to the point where you're comfortable, where you enjoy doing it. But yeah, if you're okay with a long, hard road, which I mean, I've been, I could remember when I first started out, and it was in the wrestling game. I was volunteering, and I mean, getting paid zero, 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 zero. And then it started into a little something, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and I'm making more money than I've ever made in my life. And so that's because it was a gradual process. And I learned the game, and I'm very proud to tell people I have so much more to learn, and I'm constantly learning. I'm learning with every show that I do, every city I go to, every state, every promotion that I work for. I learn, and I'm proud to say that. So yeah.
Absolutely, bro. And it's been an honor to talk to you and seeing you on the other side of not holding a microphone. It's
Okay.
funny, bro. It's crazy. You
Thank you.
know, I could always picture you with a microphone.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
your suits that you put on, and last time I saw you, I was like, oh man, like damn, you don't have your jacket on now, you
No,
know?
no, yeah. A lot of people tell me that I didn't recognize you, or yeah, it's kind of weird to see you without it on. But yeah, that's great though. I mean, that means I'm branding, and that's exactly what I want to do. So
Absolutely, bro. So what can we all expect in the next couple of events for you? And what can we have in store for the city?
well, this Saturday I'm going to be in Edinburgh, Texas. This hat right here was given to me by Eric Molina, the best heavyweight in the history of South Texas. He works for the city of Edinburgh, and we're going to be having a show at the Edinburgh Activity Complex, 7 p.m. Saturday, March 22nd. Raul Tigre Caceres, who made his name as a very tough fighter, coming from the RGB from Edinburgh, along with Hector Cavazos. They're going to have their first ever show. It's really going to be an exciting event. It's going to be 8 bouts. It's almost sold out. You can still get tickets. You got to find them at GT Promotions. Um, One bout in particular, I want to see the game changer Emilio Quiroz taking on El Rey Johnny Soto. There's going to be an ABO title match. Nelson Hampton, Hot Hands. He's going to be taking on Ricky Camacho. Fabian the Warrior Diaz is going to be in action. Several pro debuters. That's going to be this Saturday. So people of the Valley, I mean, they love their boxing down there. They love it. And then in San Antonio, March 29th for the TMB show, I'm going to be commentating. Who knows? You might see a celebrity boxer right next to me. That'll be announced sooner than later on TV Azteca. Or on my Facebook, it'll be announced. But yes, you'll see it on TV Azteca. Come watch us March 17th in Laredo, Texas, and then several events. You'll see if you just follow me on my Facebook. You can just follow me at Christian Schmidt, or my Instagram as well.
Absolutely, bro. And that just going to my next question. I said I was gonna put out like where can everyone follow you at, but you already announced it, bro. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah. Yeah, real easy. Just Christian Schmidt on Facebook, and then my Instagram is Christian Schmidt Announcer. And I love meeting new boxing fans. So just send me a friend request. I talk to every single person that will reach out to me, and I just love to meet new boxing fans. So yeah.
Absolutely, bro. It's been an honor. Everyone go follow Christian on all his social medias. He's going to be dropping so many different things. He's going to be at so many different shows coming up. And if you're in the Valley, go out to that show, go support my guys. I know I got a couple of Gámez Law Firm guys that are going to be out there doing the show.
Yep.
Big shout out to Alberto, it's my guy. You know,
Plebe.
a big shout out to Gámez Law Firm and to all my sponsors, man. Las Huetas, the best produce company in the game today, and so many more. Christopher Diaz, the best cutman in the game. Um, so many guys, man. So many guys that have been part of this journey that I could, I owe a lot to them. And big shout out to Christian for coming on the channel, bro. I appreciate you and appreciate learning the ropes, man. Like a little bit of the ropes of what you've gone through to this road that you've been on, and to become, superstar level. And it's like a video game, like and how many stars you got, and
Yeah.
to go back to like the wrestling, like you needed a certain amount of stars and certain amount of levels to reach all this
Yeah.
stuff. And
Endless times all over San Antonio, volunteering,
mm,
showing up and not getting paid a penny and um, loving doing what I'm doing and even when other people were getting paid, the wrestlers and countless gyms, armories, going to Seguin, Texas, or Lockhart, Texas, and um, Luling, geez, so Beeville. I mean, so many small Texas towns, and that's where you own your craft, and that's where I really felt like I paid my dues and I learned about it, and doing stuff like that made me appreciate, being in the bigger arenas.
Amen, bro. Amen. I look forward to talking to you again really soon. And maybe we'll do this next one in, when you get to back to Vegas.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm all for it. Whatever casino I'm staying at, be happy to do it from the casino floor. So that'd be cool.
I'll be live, bro. I
Yeah.
appreciate you again, bro. And everyone go follow Christian. Big things are coming. And like the Valley, and you got TMB Promotions. Big shout out to Rick Madonis for being a sponsor as well. Always showing love. Big bro, I appreciate you. And it's been Christian, Carlito, one love. We out.
Thank you so much, Carlito.
Always, bro.